Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode. And we are here today with Sean Herrero. Sean, thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, Chris. I'm super excited.
Awesome. Well, I have been a huge fan of yours for a very long time. I love the content that you've got on social, and you are just absolutely crushing numbers. Can you share a little bit about your story, who you are, your production volume, so listeners know who you are?
I'm Sean Herrero. I'm a mortgage advisor in California. I've been in mortgage since 2001, kind of fell into it when I was 19. For the first 15-ish years of my career, I was a wholesale rep. I was in business development. My job was to help mortgage advisors do more business, solve more problems. And I went completely broke doing that in 2016 because people didn't do what I told them to do. They just, and it was a good problem to have. It was a terrible problem at the time. And I'm very grateful that it happened because it pushed me into doing loans on my own. So January 2017, I said, you know what? I'm sick of these loan officers. If you want it done right, just go do it yourself. And I became a mortgage advisor. And a few days after January of 2017, a few days into January, my wife told me she was pregnant. And so for me, it's always been a job where I didn't have a choice to kind of slowly figure it out. It was, you need to help a lot of people really fast.
Yep.
And that's kind of what I've done ever since. So became top 1% my first year. Everyone at the company I worked at said, dude, how did you do that so fast? And I said, I just did what I told you to do. And then did 220 million in 2021. We've kind of done about 100 million per year, every year since then. So goal being to get back to those 21 numbers, because that was a number I never thought was possible. Like in my brain, that was just not a realistic goal for a mortgage advisor with, a very, very small team. And we did it. And so now it's like, well, if I know I can do it, I got to get back to that.
Yep. That's amazing. And I feel like there's probably a lot of listeners that are loan officers right now that are feeling that same crunch and that same push. Like, okay, right now I need to go close loans right now. I'm not interested in the things that are going to build my brand in 2 years. Like, I need to close loans right now. So
yeah, that's right.
Super valuable. So what is it that you told those loan officers to do that you just went and did yourself in order to create those results?
Yeah, I think for me, it's always looking at the market and finding the opportunity within it. And I think that is a kind of a more relevant thing, more so now than ever, because that's everyone's complaint is the market, right? If the rates were lower, I would do more business. If there was more inventory, I'd do more business. I'm really happy that 60% of mortgage advisors have given up their licenses, because that means there's just less for people to choose from, and it should funnel to me. And I disagree with all of those things. I look at the market and see opportunity. So what I've been telling mortgage advisors is, if you've been in the industry for at least the last 3 years, you've lived in every market that's ever existed. You know what to do in multiple offer situations.
Yep.
You know what to do when the market goes soft and a property sitting on the market. So just go solve people's problems. And that's all I've ever done, is solve people's problems. The market creates problems, which creates opportunities for us to be the solution.
Oh, I love that. And when you look at that, do you look at it from solving the problem for the consumer, or do you look at it for solving the problem for the real estate agent or the referral partner?
That's a really good question. Both. So the way in 2017, so what did I do in 2017? All of my business has come as a result of realtor referrals. So as a wholesale rep, I was really comfortable presenting in groups of people, right? My job used to be go into a mortgage office, tell everyone why our loan programs are so great. Here's how you can market them, use us, right?
Yep.
I just shifted that to real estate offices. Go into a real estate office, tell them why, my loan programs are so great. Here's how these things will solve problems for your sellers and buyers. And that was what I was doing. And so 2017, it was appraisals were an issue, right? Everyone, what if it doesn't appraise? Okay, here's how you solve that problem, and here's why it's not a problem, right? Just marketing, video. I did a lot with video marketing back then, because nobody was doing it yet. And here's how you can be in front of someone, be face-to-face without being face-to-face. So in the last 3 years, that's really been it. I just listen to what is going on. I really think that what we do is psychology. 4th grade math and psychology is what we do for a living. I wish it was more complex, but you have to listen to what people are saying. And when a realtor is saying, oh, my property's not selling, the market's spoken, right? If the home hasn't sold yet, it means there's not a willing buyer to pay the price that the seller wants. But it doesn't mean you lower the price. Why? What would a buyer's apprehension be? Is the payment too high? Is the cash out of pocket too high? Is the price just too high? Is it a misunderstanding of value? We need to show them how to market using loan solutions to do that. If it's a multiple offer situation, I got to look like cash, right? We have to think of why do real estate agents love cash offers? Because lenders screw up all the time, right? If we didn't mess up, they wouldn't care about a cash offer. So
Right.
because we have a reputation of being screw ups and killing deals, they want cash offers. So I said, okay, if that's perception, that is reality to a real estate agent.
Yep.
I'm going to show them I'm not a variable and that I will get this thing done and my offer will look just like cash. It'll look better than cash. Like I beat a cash offer 2 days ago. That's just how I see it. It's not, I don't sell a loan program. I don't go to realtors and say, hey, we have a bank statement loan.
Right.
That's not the problem. It's here's how you can help more self-employed people, or here's how you can help more entrepreneurs overcome the misconception that they can't qualify for a mortgage.
Yep. And so you're providing not products, but information and value so that they can then go sell and eventually win the customer. So
that's my goal. Yeah. So I just listen. I think, if like anybody who does anything, what you do is just what you do. It doesn't feel like it's special, right? But people are always asking me what I do and how I do it. And it's like at the bottom line is I listen to people. I listen to a home buyer's concerns when they're worried about the market crashing, and then I'll show them data that shows why it's probably very unlikely that happens. What if interest rates go down and I buy too soon? I can overcome that with data. I'll give them my personal opinion, but more so than that, I want them to see data and analysis so that they can form their own opinion and decide if it's right for them or not. And whether they decide to make a move or they decide not to, if it's based on data and analysis, they're entitled to their opinion. And I can confidently say they made the right choice. But that's all it is. Just listen to people. Like, listen to what people's thoughts and concerns are. Don't sell them, serve them, and see where you go from there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so when you're doing those presentations, do you have a specific data tool? Like, you don't have to mention one if you don't want to, but what tools do you have in your toolkit to have those conversations?
No, I love that question. So I use 3 things I can't live without: Mortgage Coach, MBS Highway, and then I use BombBomb for sending out videos as like that's basically it. You can strip away everything else I have and I will do just fine with just those 3 things.
That is amazing. I would add a CRM to the mix, but that's because I own the loan officer CRM. So there's my bias.
And a CRM.
Yeah, not necessary. But okay, so your content. So you're known as the adventure lender, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you do incredible content. You've been doing it for a very long time. Do you find that you're creating content that has the conversation of how to solve those problems and then giving that to real estate agents and they're using that with those consumers, or are consumers finding it and then you're using those leads to send to the realtors? Like, how does content play into your overall brand?
So I tell everyone that none of my business comes from social media content, but all of my business comes from social media content. And I think the misconception, and this might be for some, but I don't think this is it for everyone, is, people would say, on that one video you made, how many leads did you get from that? And it's like, I got 0 leads from that video. What about this one? None from that one. What about this one? None. Well, then they aren't working. No, they're working incredibly well. And it's like, I don't understand. I don't look at content as a lead generation tool. I look at it as a social proof tool. Right. I want people to look at what I'm doing and go, you know what, this guy, 1, I can see his expressions in his face. He seems confident with what he does. 2, he clearly has an opinion on it. And 3, his opinion, you know what, I never thought of it that way, but it actually makes sense. I want people to see something different. And it just comes down to problem solving and kind of looking at what everyone's seeing. Like, if somebody's struggling with what they can do to create content, the media tees it up for us every single day.
Yeah.
Like, there's bad information put out by the media every single day. Even ads on Instagram. I got one, a buddy of mine sent me one yesterday on these, it's basically like equity share, but they come up with some fancy name to trick people into thinking it's a good idea. And he goes, he goes, this seems terrible, but what do you think? And I read through it. I'm all, dude, this is awful. And I'll have a video coming out on that tomorrow. But all I did was take screenshots. I'll do the green screen effect in Instagram and point out why I think this is dumb. People can argue with me on that, right? And then we can have a conversation, and I can either look like an idiot, and somebody might say, Sean, you know what? Did you ever look at it this way? Because this actually is a beneficial program. And I could say, wow, I didn't see that personally. Or I can tear them apart. It goes either way.
That's amazing. But the conversation and the leadership and standing in a place where you're protecting the consumer, and consumers find your content, see those conversations, and it leads them towards you. So this tees up what I feel is a very valuable conversation for our industry as a whole and our listeners here. So I believe that AI is totally changing the consumer landscape. I think that in the next 5 years, there's going to be more people searching on ChatGPT than there are people that search on Google today. And I believe that the AI is smart enough now that the lender that leans in on content, education, producing value, continuing to share it, networking, is the lender that's going to lead in that, let's call it the AI search space. And so most lenders are not doing content at all. So for somebody who's trying to shoot that second or third video and get into the cadence of doing it, what's your recommendation for a loan officer on how to get started with content?
To just get started. At this day and age. So like I mentioned, 2017, I was coaching real estate agents on how to use video marketing and messaging to reach more people on social, to reach more people in their email inbox, and how to add more value using video. In 2020, when we all had to go sit at home for 2 weeks, remember, it was only going to be 2 weeks, but everyone was doing Zoom calls. We're all on video now, right? Like you and I are doing a video right now, and we're both totally confident and fine to do it. So I was like, well, there goes my whole pitch. Like, what am I going to do when we go out back into the world in 2 weeks? What am I going to do with realtors? 2 years later, nobody was using video. And I like completely stopped doing this marketing technique that worked really well to add value to others because I thought everyone would get used to it. And so when we're still in a world in 2025, halfway through 2025, where we're saying, I want to make content, but I don't know how, or I'm scared to start. You just start. Like Barry Habib, I'm very grateful and fortunate that he was my mentor in 2010. And remember, Barry was making videos back then, right? He'd do his mortgage update. There'd be a little 5-minute video. I think that was the limit to the videos back then. There was no more than 5 minutes. And I made a presentation. So my job was to help loan officers do more business. I made a keynote that they could go to real estate offices and use. And I figured I should explain this. So I did a voiceover, right? Because Barry's like, you've got to get on video. So I did a voiceover on it, and I sent it to Barry, and I was super excited and proud of myself because I knew the content was great. Like I knew the presentation was going to do really well. And I was really proud of myself because now Barry's going to be proud of me for putting my voiceover on this video. His only response was, get your face on there, brother. That was it. There was no feedback other than that. And so it started, and now I'm numb to it, right? It doesn't matter. Like I can look at this camera as if I'm looking at you, and it feels like I'm looking at you. It's the exact same thing people feel on the other end. So you just have to get to this point of like, I don't like how I look. I don't like how I sound, but it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it, right? And if I could go get plastic surgery, but would it change anything? No. So you just got to do it. And then it's like, okay, well, what should I talk about? You should talk about what's on people's minds. Like I used to keep a list when I would hear the same question from a client, or not even a client, anyone who I spoke to that I got introduced to, it'd be like, this keeps coming up. I should probably make a video about this. They tee it up for us. The media tees it up for you. Our competitors tee it up for us. Like what I'm seeing, another video I'll put out will be another one of those screen shares. I'm seeing a lot of lenders online quoting really low rates in big, bold letters, and then putting the discount points in really small print. Because what do we know consumers want to see? When they want to see the rate.
Yeah.
And they trick them into thinking that they're better. And they're not. And they tee it up like that is a conversation that we can have to show people that we're more trustworthy, right? Like if I make that video, it's because I truly believe that you should not pay discount points right now. And that they're only showing you what you want to see because they know that's what you want to see. And they're going to either give you more expense than you should have, or they're going to show you a higher rate later.
Yep.
I would rather just be upfront and forthright out of the gate and then let you choose which one of those is best for your plan for the home. They tee it up. So the trick to content creation is getting over your insecurities, which we all have. I have them every single day.
Yep.
And speaking your truth about what you believe is right for your customers. That's all you have to do.
That is amazing. There is mortgage marketing content 101 right there in a little segment. So that's amazing, Sean. Thank you. We'll pivot just a little bit into referral relationships because I know you get where does the majority of your business come from? And we'll take it from there.
Yeah. So my business is completely referral based from real estate agents. And now that I've closed enough transactions, I'll get referrals from past clients.
Got it.
That's basically it. I'll get, that's 90%, I'll get leads from having good reviews on social or on the internet. I'll get leads from Instagram and YouTube, but 90% is going to be referral.
Yep. Referral based. And so how do you approach getting in front of real estate agents, keeping your pipeline full of real estate agents that are referring you business, maintaining those relationships?
By adding value. I don't cold call. I'm not good at it. I'm very insecure about making a cold call. So I have to acknowledge what my insecurities are and then find a way. Because it's like, if I believe that if you don't get a mortgage from me, you didn't get the best mortgage and you won't have the best mortgage going forward. And if I believe that, I have to make sure the world knows it. And so if I'm going to call a real estate agent to ask them to go to coffee, why? Right? Why should they go to coffee with me? And they're going to be on guard, right? They're going to be like, oh, here we go again. And I don't like to get cold called. So instead, I like presenting. So I'll set up a presentation for real estate agents to show them how to help more people and solve their problems. No sales. I truly believe in service, and I truly believe in showing people what the market is in the current market situation. And then after that, it's very easy for me to follow up for one-on-ones because we've already met each other. And Jeremy Forcier and I were on a call together, and he goes, Sean puts the hard part first. I go, it's not hard for me to present. It's hard for me to make a cold call. So you have to look at yourself and go, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Just because a coaching platform says this is how you should do it, that might work for a lot of people, but it doesn't work for everyone. And it's okay if it doesn't work for you, but you really have to get, comfortable with yourself and knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are, and then build your business off of that. So my long story short is all I want to do is help more realtors, help more people. And that's it.
Yeah, that's incredible. So when I first got in the mortgage business 14 years ago, I tried the rate sheets and donut circuit and just failed miserably because I was just terrified. I'm a really socially awkward person. This is great, but put me in a room with people and I'm just not in my happy place. But I discovered online lead gen, and being a nerd at heart, I was able to be like, hey, there's this internet thing. We can generate leads. I can teach you how to do it. And that's how I built all my relationships, finding that way. But I still had to make the phone call, get the presentation booked, get in the room and deliver the presentation. So are you doing online webinars? Are you reaching out to brokers and doing broker office presentations? What is your standard, how to add value to a real estate agent look like?
I try to do all of the above. I find that it's harder and harder to get people to show up in person. It's harder and harder to get people to show up for a webinar. I did one yesterday. 70 people registered for it. 13 showed up. And I followed up with all of them the day before and the morning of, and still had 13 show up. And what do they want? Oh, send me the recording. And I go, I don't record them. I don't record webinars anymore because if you want to get the value, I want you to at least show up, right? And if I send them the recording, it doesn't create a relationship. So for me, it's just finding a way. To that question this morning, I wrote down a list of offices locally that I need to ask the managers of those offices if I can come present. There's a lot of offices that won't let you do that, right? We have our in-house relationship, so you can't come in. Cool. Well, I need to get people out then, right? So it's all of the above. But what I found, to kind of go full circle is doing online content and videos is what has created a lot of these relationships. I spoke at an event in Ventura about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, with an agent who she found, she saw my videos, commented, sent me a DM. I sent her one back. I said, hey, Would you be up for a Zoom? She said, sure. And like, we are like this now. And then she had an event for real estate agents because she's doing a lot of marketing content and coaching. I was the only lender to speak at it. I haven't given her a dime, right? She just sees value in me and I see value in her. I would not ever have met her. I never would have had the opportunity to present to those 50 agents had I not made videos on the internet.
Yep. Yeah. I could not agree more. So nerd side coming out. I do a lot of it. Digital marketing.
Yeah.
Are you taking lists of qualified agents and agents that you want to have relationships and putting them into custom audiences and making sure that your content shows up in front of them?
No, but I would love for you to teach me how to do all those things.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'm not good at online market. It's if there's a giant hole in me, in my system, it's online marketing. Like I can't figure out how to run ads well. I can't figure out how to do exactly what you just said. Like I have no idea how to create a custom audience and do those things. And I really need that. Like that is a massive hole that I'm glad you brought it up because I think about it daily. Like you're losing because enough people don't know about you because you don't know how to create custom audiences, run ads, do all these digital things.
And so, and here I am, I hold you in high regard and have a tremendous amount of respect for your online marketing and your content and the success that you've had with it. So the coming together, I think that's great for our listeners to understand that even at the top, there's still room for improvement and getting better. So that's fantastic.
Yeah. And I think for me, I look at it as, I don't look at it as marketing. I don't know what to call it. It's communication, I guess, messaging, right? So I said I used to teach realtors marketing and messaging by way of video. When I'm creating online content, I think of it as messaging, not marketing, and that's broken, right? I really need to step up that other side because to your point, more and more people are just going to go to the internet. Like if you make videos on YouTube and somebody searches for whatever, YouTube is owned by Google and Google is going to push that video and I want to be the video that people see. And I'm terrible at that. I can make the videos, I can upload them to YouTube. After that is where I completely fall apart.
Yep. And that's focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. And I think that's something that, especially in the mortgage industry, everybody's trying to do a little bit better at the things that they're bad at, where I believe that you should just have people that are good at the things that you're not good at support you and be part of your team. And you go focus and do the things that you love and get 1% better every day at the things that you love to do. So I think that's a valuable message as well. So Sean, this is incredible, but I need to be respectful of your time. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Where do people go to learn more about you, your mortgage business, all of those wonderful things?
So most popular place will be Instagram as @AdventureLender. You can Google Sean Herrero and all the stuff we've talked about today will come up. That's really it. I'm there on the internet. I do an event in Newport Beach, California, where I teach loan officers how to overcome their mindset of not having enough and seeing the abundance and how to solve problems within the market. Doing exactly what you just said, Chris, being really confident in doing what you're good at and outsourcing the things you're not instead of doing what everyone else says you're supposed to do. Yeah. And just find your own way so you can help the people that you're supposed to serve.
That's amazing. Well, again, Sean, thank you for being on the show. To all of our listeners, if that's not worth a 5-star review on iTunes, I don't know what is. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, and we can't wait to see you in the next episode. Make sure share this with 2 of your friends in the mortgage industry, and they can get signed up at loanofficerpodcast.com. Sean, thank you again for being on the show.
No, I'm stoked. Thank you, Chris. That was great.